I'm going to do this video right now because, hey, well, why not? I think people want some good PlayStation 5 news, and this is pretty interesting stuff. I thought that this was a really good choice to kind of go with this video. Now, as you guys know, I have been keeping track of the games on PlayStation 5 that offer 60 frames per second. And now, the interesting thing here is every current gen game, which we're in the current gen right now. I know that some people still consider this next gen, the PS5 and Xbox Series X next gen, quote unquote, but they're really current gen if you think about it. So current gen games on both PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, only Xbox has a game that's 30 frames per second only, being the medium. Now, when we look at the PlayStation 5, the update for the 60 frames per second Watch Dogs Legions just happened. They've already frame rate tested everything and compared the two. And this was very cool stuff. I just found it to be very interesting, and I love what I'm seeing from, this latest update. Now, the interesting thing about this is games that are current gen have tended, for the most part, I would say somewhere around the 75% mark, perform better on the PlayStation 5, despite the fact that the Xbox Series X is, quote-unquote, allegedly, on paper, that much more powerful. People like to make fun of the PS5 and say it's got, sort of dynamic teraflops or whatever, and, variables and this, that, and the other thing, and only 9.2 T-flops, and, there's 12 T-flops on the Xbox, and yet the PlayStation 5 is still outdoing it. Here we are, closing in on a year soon in a few months. I mean, think about it. I mean, it's crazy. Time slow down a little bit, please. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is very interesting, and I gotta say that I found it to be very, very wild that the PlayStation 5 continues to really just kind of outpunch everything that the Xbox Series X is doing. But let's get started, shall we? What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you very much for checking it out. I appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel, and it means a lot to me personally. Really, just go ahead and like the video. That's all I'm asking for. Yeah, I'm doing my best to build up. I'm actually seeing some results. I mean, it's going to be a slow burn, obviously, but yeah, I'm going to continue to, do my thing and kind of go out there and kind of just have some fun with this, and yeah, just gonna go with it. So thank you guys for rocking out with me. So anyway, Watch Dogs Legion 60 frames per second patch comparison video highlights dynamic resolution decrease slightly. Right now, I think that this game probably should have launched with a 60 FPS mode right away. Right, I don't understand why it launched so late. Now, the interesting thing is, I have this game. I like this game. I stopped playing it because I figured they would do a patch for it, and they mentioned it. So I think it's a good game so far from what I played. Was just waiting for the patch. Watch Dogs Legion recently received a new patch enabling 60 frames per second, woo lordy, on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and Xbox Series S, and it looks like the mode is working as intended, judging from a new video that was just shared online. There's a new comparison video that highlights how the game runs at a stable 60 frames per second on all current gen consoles, with only a small dynamic resolution decrease and some small but noticeable screen tearing issues on Xbox consoles. So again, there's screen tearing on the Xbox versions of this, which is very kind of interesting if you think about it. I'm sure the tools are coming, you guys. Don't worry, they're coming. I heard from sources that the tools are going to be there any day now, just like the games. So the new 60 frames per second mode is exclusively available on next generation consoles. There is no changes in textures, drawing distance, or shadows when activating 60 frames per second. Now, the only drawback is ray tracing on reflections is disabled at 60 frames mode. It's really a small trade-off if you ask me. The resolution in the 3 console remains the dynamic range in this mode, although in some areas they've been able to notice 5% less resolution compared to the 30 FPS mode. All versions maintain 60 frames per second in a stable way. However, the Xbox versions suffer from tearing at specific moments, and their conclusion was that they think that this mode should have been included since its launch, since it seems to be much more recommendable than the quality mode. So yeah, this could definitely have hurt some of the Watchdog stuff. And if you think about it, this was the lone game kind of hanging its 30 frames per second head over these consoles. So the latest Watch Dogs Legions patch also introduced some quality of live improvements in single player and multiplayer content. 60 FPS performance mode, yeah, for the next gen consoles. Cross family is now enabled as well. Players on Xbox One and Xbox One X and S, as well as PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, can now play together within their console family. Keep it in the family, folks. Added loading screen hints for the HUD customization options, and they've made several adjustments and optimizations to start at the single player campaign that will speed up some of the early areas and make it easier for new players to find their footings in near future London. HUD display presets added a light preset which turns off a few of the most intrusive HUD elements, and added an immersive preset which keeps only the most necessary information. Obviously, Watch Dogs Legions is available on a slew of everything, but yeah, this is really cool to see this, and I gotta say, it's just awesome to see what they were able to kind of get out there and accomplish with getting this update out. So it makes me happy to see that that's the case, and the last 30 frames per second PlayStation 5 current gen game out the window. And as we know, Horizon Forbidden West got confirmed to be 60 frames as well. So it's kind of funny to me because everybody was kind of making fun of what was going on with the Forbidden West trailer. Everybody was jumping on the 30 frames per second thing, and now that it's confirmed to have a 60 frames mode, I see people mention that it might be 1080p, which wouldn't even make sense. I mean, if you look at Miles Morales, that's a cross-gen game. It has 3 modes. One of them is 1440p, 60 frames with ray tracing. So the fact that this is a cross-gen game means that we knew we were going to get 60 frames. I don't know why. You know, like, I'm not a tech guy, but if you just listen and pay attention to stuff, like, this is stuff that even Digital Foundry has mentioned a long time ago, was any game that's on last-gen hardware that can do 30 can automatically double that. Why do you think we've been getting double the frame rate? Stuff that was 60 can be 120. Stuff that was 30 is 60. It's the way it is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why people don't realize this, but yeah, it's, you know, and this means God of War will be as well, which, thankfully, you know, I think that's great. You know, so I thought that this was really good news, and a lot of people kind of talking about it, and, you know, and rightfully so. It is nice to see what's going on with these type of games, and the head-to-head comparisons are always cool to see. And, you know, for me personally, I just think that it's kind of funny that everybody talked all that crap about the PlayStation 5 and how it can't do this and how it can't do that, and it's literally the only console with no 30 frames per second only current gen games. So yeah, I mean, you can take that and, you know, and roll it up and smoke it, because that's, I think, funny as hell. You know, and I love seeing the people's reactions to that. But I'm beginning to think that, you know, to be honest with you, that gamers don't really care about the stuff that they're saying on social media. What I mean by that is, I really do think that, you know, like the 30 frames per second thing was a talking point when they thought that was going to be the case. And now it comes down to resolution again, and then it'll be something else. So I think it's always going to be something else, you know, and I think that that's going to be probably, you know, how it's going to be, just because gaming is like that. You know, sometimes it brings out the worst in people. You know, I like to have fun with it. I think it's funny, and it's kind of funny to, you know, poke fun at the people that said 30 frames, and now you kind of bring this up, and they're like, whatever. I like getting my balls busted too with this stuff, right? People will bring up that I posted, we're eating good this year with these games, and then some of the games get delayed. It's all fun and games, man. Like, you think Skip Bayless minds his balls being busted because he has a take and it ends up being wrong? No, he likes the engagement. I do too. It's not a big deal. It's easier just to sit there and be kind of plain and not take any risks with what you're saying, but I don't think that's fun for people that are watching if you're some kind of content creator or whatever. So I love doing that, and I'm going to continue doing that, and I think that people will probably be much more you know, responsive to that. So love seeing that, and you know what, this is just good stuff. I really love going out and kind of talking video games, and you guys are absolutely fantastic and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. I'm humbled by, you know, the kind words. The rebuilding process is slow, but I love it, and I'm more, you know, just at ease and doing the things that I want to do, and it's just that much more fun. So this has been Crapgamer Reviews. I'm the Crapgamer. Thanks for watching. Rack 'em up.